Here we have a very stately North Dakota native tree, the bur oak. There are two main groups of oaks in the timber industry, and this is a member of the white oak group. Like most white oaks, the bur oak has very rounded lobes on its leaves. Another common name for the bur oak is the mossy cup oak. And I've got here a acorn cap. Unfortunately, the acorn was taken by our friends the squirrels. But you see along the rim of the acorn that it has this sort of fringed edge, like moss, which is where it gets its other common name from. A lot of people complain when they plant oaks that they're going to be so slow growing. It's true that they're quite slow growing, but when they're younger, when planted as small trees in your landscaping environment, they can grow at a medium rate of about 6 inches to a foot a year, which is, very typical for most trees. We got a comment on one of our previous videos for how to identify aspens. So I'm in between two stands of trees right now, both with white bark. On this side we have an aspen, and on this side we have a birch. The aspen is characterized by having round, almost completely circular leaves that when the wind blows, it makes them rustle and quake, which is why it has a common name of quaking aspen. On this side we have a birch. The birch has also white bark, although it has a slightly different shade, but when you see a big stand of these, you won't have anything to compare it to. The birch, however, has lance-shaped leaves that are pointed at the end, not nearly as round as the aspen. Here we have the eastern cottonwood. The eastern cottonwood grows pretty commonly along streams and rivers in North Dakota. It has very deeply furrowed bark that you can see here, and the leaves fairly glossy and triangular shaped. It's not really advised to plant eastern cottonwood around a home or other structures because they're very messy trees. They drop a lot of fluff, which gets caught in windscreens, and they tend to break off a lot of little twigs which litter the ground. Right here we have the only species of pine native to North Dakota, mostly found in the far western part of the state, the Ponderosa Pine. It is only remarkable in one way in terms of identifying pines, which is that the needles are born in fascicles both of 2 needles and 3 needles on the same tree. In our last video on conifers, I mentioned that the way to identify pines primarily is the number of needles per fascicle on this tree.